Hi, and today I'm going to talk to you about a subject that's not really talked about, okay? It's often hush hush, and a lot of men can be embarrassed about talking about it, but we shouldn't be. In general, men burn more calories than females, so on average, it takes a female 30% longer to burn the same amount of calories as a man. So if you and your partner went out for a meal, and your other half, you both eat the same, so you eat 1,000 calories. Just an example, okay? It would take the female 30% longer to burn those calories off from the man. To put into perspective, over an hour, that man can burn, to get a 60-minute gym workout, a man can burn off that 1,000 calories. Whereas a female, it would take 90 minutes, an hour and a half, to burn the same amount of calories. Okay, the men are bigger. They are built bigger and they can burn those calories off quicker. Also, their hormones do not change. Their hormones stay the same every day, 365 days a year, for their whole entire life. Whereas us females, we have a lot to contend with, okay? So, this is why it's really, really important for us females to understand our own cycle, okay? So, impacts our bodies more than we actually think, and what men don't realise is the men think our actual period is the worst part of the month. No, it's not. That is the best part of the month, okay? In regards to what's going on inside, guys, if you want to go out, if you want to do something and not have that female nagging you, when the female's on their period, that's the best time to do it, okay? Because this is where we are at our best, okay, in the hormones. So we have, ladies, we have 4 main parts of our cycle. I'm going to go through them quickly and briefly with you, okay? So part 1, our menstrual cycle starts the day we start our period, okay? So this is when we have low levels of estrogen and testosterone. So these are 2 main hormones that we have as females. These are quite low, and this is what we are on, okay? Also, another part of our phase, part 2, is the follicular phase. So this starts day 1 of our cycle, but it goes right up to ovulation, okay? This is where estrogen levels start to rise, okay? And the follicular phase is the first 2 weeks of a period. So you think of a month, we've got a month block. The first 2 weeks is the follicular phase. Then we have, right on day 14, is ovulation, okay? So this is where we see a peak in testosterone. This is where we release, obviously, egg, because our bodies don't want us to get pregnant. And this is always in mid-cycle, and this is where estrogen also peaks just before, but it drops shortly afterwards, okay? The next stage. But also, when we are ovulating, this is the best time for us to train. So if we're lifting weights, we are going to lift heavier. We're going to get more out of our training than we would at another part of a month, which I'm going to go into. Then we're going to go into the 4th phase, which is the luteal phase. This phase, guys, is the worst part for us females. So this is the time between ovulation and between the time the next period starts. This is where testosterone levels are produced and it peaks and drops, okay? This is when females, we get our sugar cravings, we get our mood changes, we get our headaches, we get our migraines, we get skin issues, and we get bloating. So we also will have coordination issues. So our coordination will just go, our balance might go, but also within sport and fitness, we'll have a higher chance of becoming injured, okay? Also, this is the worst time for us females to start a diet. So if we want to lose some weight, if we want fat loss, we really want to start on day 1. We don't want to start in the luteal phase. So if you're in the second part of your cycle, you should not start a diet, because you will fail, because you have your cravings. You will have ways in which you have, if you could have headaches, you might be like really, your mood might just change from one day to the next, and you're not going to get the most out of that diet. Also, if we're training, our strength decreases, so we cannot lift the same. Okay, so when we are lifting 2 weeks previous, we were getting really good lifts in. We could lift a good amount of weight. Now we can't lift the same amount of weight. That weight that we were lifting will drop, and so we won't be able to train the same way. So we'll need to have a different way of training. So if you're doing Olympic lifts, say I'm just using this as an example, if you're doing Olympic lifts 2 weeks previous, you might need to stick to machines just to do a maintenance workout just to keep you going for these 2 weeks. I always say it's probably better to avoid dieting these 2 weeks. So you know, a female has better results dieting in the follicular phase than the luteal phase. So if you want the best results, diet hard in the first 2 weeks, then just do what your body tells you to do in the second, now luteal phase. You have better results than if you try and diet in the luteal phase and you'll just stop, okay? Because you won't be able to keep it up because you think you have failed, okay? This is how I do it. I try and be as healthy as I can in the follicular phase, then I just let my body eat what it wants to eat in the luteal phase, okay? In the luteal phase, our metabolic rate will increase, and this is why we get oral cravings, okay? So we can eat, average, can eat up to 100 to 300 calories more a day, but realistically, a female can eat 500 more calories a day, okay? So, and this is why, again, we shouldn't actually diet at least 2 weeks, and why it is really important for us to understand our cycles. Also, ladies who are over the age of 36, you are at risk of any time of starting perimenopause. Perimenopause is not just for the ladies in their 50s. It can happen any time, but more so after the age of 36. After the age of 35, 36, our bodies start changing. We produce lower bone density, okay, in men and females, but females particularly, and so we are more at risk of obviously bone osteoconditions, but also we need to track our cycles more so that if there is a difference within our cycle, we can record it, so that if we think we are starting to go into perimenopause, then we can obviously have a diary, so that you need to have a diary for up to 6 months before you can go to a doctor, so that they can actually see a record of what's happened up to 6 months before, so that you can go and say, oh, my period's changed, or this has dropped, or this has changed, and it'll be easier for them to help work out if you have gone into the perimenopause, or if you're about to go into the perimenopause. Your hormones might dip up and down even more, and this is why it's really important to actually know your body, know your cycle, but also track your cycle. So I will track my cycle within my Fitbit. If you've got a Fitbit, within the app, you can track your cycle, and actually it is pretty accurate. I think it's the best one that I've used for accuracy, and I've used other period trackers, and some are really accurate, some aren't. So just work out there. It's a really good way of actually tracking when you're on, when you come off, because that app will also work out when you ovulate, and you can work out what phase you're in from there as well. So then you can work out exactly what is best for you. So please, it's really interesting to say that there's a lot of information out there, so please Google it. Just Google menstrual cycle phases, you'll get more details come up. I've just gone into a very quick overview for you because it is a very interesting subject, and it really does affect us females. Again, like I said earlier, men, please be thankful that you don't have what we have to go through, because I don't think you could even handle it. So we just get on with it. We just go through it every month, and every month could be different for all of us. We could have a good month, we could have a bad month, we could have 3 good months, you have 2 bad months, for example. So it just depends on the hormones, how they are within our bodies. And I hope you found that useful, and really, it's something that I really believe that us females should be more aware of.